Parashat Vayeshev opens up with a story of Yosef having dreams. But the first pasuk says, Vayeshev Yaakov be'eretz migurei aviv be'eretz Canaan, that Yaakov is living in Eretz Canaan, and then has very little to do with Yaakov, it has to do with his children. Yaakov's story is the story of his children. Rashi in the very first pasuk comments, Vayeshev Yaakov, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is funneling the story. He's channeling and whittling things down. It's like he says, he gives a mashal of, you sifting dirt to find the pearls. And that's what Yaakov's story is. And it's interesting because when you look through all of Sefer Breshit, it starts off very broad. There's the whole planet, and then we focus on Adam. Well, he's all there is. And then there's the whole world, then Noach. Then the world sort of spreads out again. The whole world repopulates, and we focus on Avraham. Avraham has two children, Yishmael and Yitzchak, and we focus on Yitzchak. Yitzchak has two children, Yaakov and Esav, and we're going to focus on Esav. And in fact, the parasha begins right after the Torah finished telling us all about Esav. The previous parasha, the last two aliyot, describe Esav and his descendants well past the story. It goes a little bit out of chronological order. It tells us about Esav, his children, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, everything about them, many, many, many years later. And then Torah goes back, let's talk about Yaakov. And what Rashi's trying to tell us is, that's true, that happened to Esav. His story's finished. Now we're going to whittle down, we're going to focus on what we want to do. Because the Torah is not a history book. And if it was, it's a very bad history book. It tells us a story of one family. That's not a very good history because that's not the point. The point of the Torah is not to tell us history, it's to tell us about how Hashem chose Am Yisrael. It's a story of Bechira, and so it's whittling down to try to find those pearls out of the dirt. And one of the lessons I think we can take from this is, our experiences in life are varied. We see all sorts of things that happen. But again, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who puts all of that there. There's tremendous amount there, but the pearls are there also. And it's our job to try to extract the pearls from the dirt. And it's sometimes hard to see. It's sometimes hard to see in the moment. Sometimes you need to take like a bird's eye view, and that's what Rashi's doing in this week's parasha. In the very first Rashi's telling us, take a bird's eye view. You can't always see everything. When you're in it, you can't see how the story is developing. But he says, when you look at the whole Sefer Breshit, you see this process happening. And sometimes in our lives, we're in the moment, and we don't see how there's a process, how we're supposed to grow from it. And what Rashi is suggesting that sometimes we take a moment to sit back, to take a look about, how have things gone? What was I presented with? How are things moving forward? And maybe I can pick and choose from those different experiences how I'm going to grow, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu plans each and everything. He places each and every one of those dots in our lives for us to try to draw a line, for us to try to have a path. And it's up to us to choose each and every one. Yaakov Avinu wasn't able to see it in the moment. We, the readers of the Torah, get to learn from it. Rashi is suggesting we take a step back every so often. We take a look at everything that happened in our lives. How are we able to grow from those experiences? Because each of our experiences we can grow from to try to find those pearls. I want to wish everyone a Shabbat Shalom and a kol hakavod to everyone doing Shnayim Yomi. Chizku v'imtzu tilchu mechayil el chayil.